think that Tony came to minimum here. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take you behind the scenes of a recent shoot I did photographing and filming this stunning house. So I want to walk you guys through the process, the gear I used, and some tips to get the perfect shots. Let's dive in. So when I got in touch with this client, they told me they just wanted to have their house work, like as Airbnb. And I thought to myself, okay. So what we did first was to do like a pilot study. I needed to come the day before to check out the space. That was to help me also plan out my shots and know also what kind of gear I'm going to need. Yeah, but pretty much the pilot study was to help me plan out. Yeah, and starting with the gear that I used for this shoot, because I was doing both photos and video, I had to make sure I've planned well enough for my gear. So I used the Canon EOS R8. That's my go-to camera for pretty much everything. It's a full frame camera, 24 megapixels. It can do 4K 60 frames. Yeah, and it's really decent. It performs well for the most part. And then I used the 16 millimeter. That's an ultra wide lens. I've done a review on this lens before. If you guys haven't watched that video, please go check it out. So the 16 millimeter is a perfect lens for this kind of work. Yeah, because it's really wide, and I know there's wider lenses, but for the most part this is wide enough for the kind of content that I do, like for this real estate kind of content. Yeah, the 24 millimeter is also like wide, your normal kind of wide, but for this you usually want a wider lens because yeah, it will help you even like see more in smaller spaces. I also used the 15 millimeter for like tighter shots. Yeah, and it worked really well, like for detailed shots. The 15 millimeter was the go-to. So it's a good combo for you to have a 50 and a 16 millimeter. That should do the job. If you don't own a 16 millimeter, I would highly recommend that you get one, or you hire when you get to do these kind of gigs. Yeah, I also used a tripod. Definitely, because for the most part I was doing like some long exposure kind of photos, so I needed a tripod and yeah, and a trigger as well. The trigger came in handy when it came to like mixing some flash and yeah, it's called flambient, like mixing flash and as well natural light. Yeah, I used the Godox V860 Mark II as the flash. I didn't want to carry anything heavier than that, so I just found it to work perfectly fine. Though for the most part, to be honest, I shot natural light. It's only a few moments when I actually mixed in a bit of flash. Yeah. Yeah, so this shoot took pretty much the whole day because I was doing both photos and video. So I decided to start with like the photos because some rooms were not yet ready, and also because like photos take a lot more time. I thought it's best for me to start with the photos while I also still have like some good natural light available. So yeah, one of the tips that I can share with you guys is When you're shooting like interiors, composition is very key. I try to position my camera in a way that showcases the space, the floor, and also a little bit of the ceiling. For photos, I shot landscape and portrait modes to get a variety of perspectives. Lighting was a bit tricky, by the way, in like some rooms, but so I just made sure to open all the windows and kind of bring in as much natural light as I possibly can. So of course you're going to find yourself in a situation where like you need to like do exposure bracketing. Exposure bracketing is where like you set the camera to take multiple exposures, like maybe 3 or 5 exposures when they are different. So you have like a dark, a middle, and like you have a normal balanced exposure, the center, and then you have a higher, maybe 2 stops higher and 2 stops lower. That is for you to get the best out of your shot. Like when you combine those photos, you come up with a perfectly well exposed photo. What we call high dynamic range. But thankfully for the R8, it has an HDR mode, so I actually ended up using most of those photos which were like HDR. So the camera does the job for you. It takes the 3 photos and it merges and aligns them automatically to give you a finished photo. But you could go the manual way and do it yourself in post-production. I just thought it best to just use that as a plan B, and the pictures actually turned out great, so I was happy. Composition is very key, you guys. Every time you're shooting, you need to try different angles. For me, most of the time I try to go to corners, different corners, and I try to get different perspectives of the room. But one thing I need to emphasize is you have to try and get the lines as straight as you possibly can. So when you're in small spaces, it's very, very important for you to always get in the corner, get as wide as you possibly can. For example, in this room, I have to come and compose my shot from the corner. Just like this, as you can see, because I want to get the width the best way I can. As you can see. And then the other thing is try to keep your lines level, so that you don't have warping. This is a 16mm, so it's a wide lens, and it means I have to try and keep my lines as level as possible. So that's the tip I thought I should mention. So you guys, it's very, very important to always understand what your client wants. And so I actually had a moment to ask the client what they feel they want to show in the house. So you can see the house is beautifully set, beautifully done, but it's very important to understand what the client really feels and what they want to show, so that yes, of course, it's your job to cover everything and shoot everything, but when you have in mind what the client actually wants, that is a bit different. It helps to keep you in check, and you just want to make sure you don't leave out anything. So you just go through all the rooms and you try different angles but also keep in mind that you have to keep the lines as straight and as level as possible. Yeah, that is like one big tip I always have to remind you guys. So you guys, for the video, I wanted to create a smooth cinematic feel. That's where my gimbal came in handy. I walked through each room, keeping the movements slow and steady, and trying to get a variety of angles, wide shots and detailed close-ups. Yeah, again, like on this gimbal, make sure you balance it very well, because it should be able to take you through. So for the video, it was basically like gimbal shots like inside the house, and then some exterior shots with the drone. I had done some I managed to do some exterior shots. As you can see, these drone shots, it was very important to have an establishing shot, and that is when you kind of show us the location. And you guys, this is such a beautiful location. As you can see, Palm Marina Estate. This is such a beautiful location. It's a peninsula. Yes, as you can see, there's water on both ends. It's not an island, but it's a peninsula, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So you have to show off this location in whichever way. So establishing and then coming closer to the house, I had to do a multiple angles and multiple looks of the drone, different styles of drone shots, to kind of make sure I had enough to work with in post-production. So I had to fly the drone myself, by the way, because Bruno came in a bit late, but he also managed to do some shots later on. But so the idea with the gimbal is for you to walk into each room, to just get that vibe of you're entering a room, and that is when you get the most. When someone is watching the video, you want them to feel like they're entering a room. You want someone to feel like they're entering a room. It's like a point of view kind of shot. And also you need to walk as steadily as you possibly can. Try to be subtle with your movement. Try to be free flowing. That really helps those shots to come out more smoothly. I'll have to be honest with you guys. Some of these shots, of course, I was using a gimbal, but they may not be extra smooth. So I had to, for some shots, use warp stabilizer in Premiere Pro to kind of make them look great. So I did multiple shots, the dolly shot, moving sideways. There's also the push, like the push in or push out, like that kind of shot where you just walk straight forward. Just variety of shots. And when I was happy like with the wide shots, I had to change the lens to the 50 millimeter. I used basically two lenses for this entire shoot. I used the 50 millimeter and I also used the 16 millimeter for the wide shots. Yeah, and it worked really, really, really well. I was glad. So,
but also because this is like a wide lens, but like here.
I think one of the challenges that I faced was hunger. Yes, because we shot this project like the entire day. I got really, really hungry, and there were no restaurants around here, and I was hungry, but I was okay anyway. One thing, you need to like take short breaks to like maybe sit down a bit, cause you guys, the back, that is when you feel it, and you normally would feel it like the day after or even that very evening. But yeah, it was a whole day shoot, so it can be quite tiring. Yeah, the other challenge that I faced was, like some doors, like when you're entering, it can be tricky. You're hitting the the door handle. Yeah, it can be a bit tricky, but yeah, overall things were good. I knew what I was doing. Like, you have to keep adjusting the settings, depending on the room you're in. Yeah, for the camera settings, for the video settings, I was shooting 4K 60 frames. 60 frames for me to be able to like slow down. You're able to slow down up to like 40% if you want. But yeah, those 60 frames kind of give you that nice cinematic feel, when you slow things down. Because for most of these real estate shots, you want to slow things down. So yeah, that is what I used. I also shot C-Log 3 on the Canon R8. Yeah, if you're using like other brands like Sony, you have like the S-Log or whichever log profile you have. That's what I shot to help me get the most dynamic range. Yeah, however, if your machine is not very strong, like it can't process faster, I wouldn't recommend you to shoot these log profiles, because my friend, they are really heavy on the computer. They demand a lot of power processing. So yeah, but I managed. So that's what I shot for this project. Yeah, I got by the way, a bit of a challenge in post-production, like trying to edit these videos, because to be honest, this was my very first time to shoot like C-Log. I always just shoot no more like standard profile. So yeah, my recommendation, maybe if you don't want to shoot like this C-Log, just shoot like the standard picture profile for the Canon camera. Just shoot standard picture profile and make sure you dial down the contrast. Yeah, that should be good. You guys, by the way, I was so grateful that I had carried my power bank with me and the dummy battery, because that helped me. I ran out of like batteries, so I just had to like plug, and I hadn't carried like a battery charger, so I just used the power bank and the dummy battery to power the camera. Yeah, and it worked well, you know. So that was like the hack all the day.
You're shooting each other. No, for him it's just doing behind the scenes. But nzali really official.
Yeah, so once the shoot was done, it was time to edit. I focused on bringing out the colors and textures in the photos while maintaining a natural look. Yeah. And for the video, I played around with slow motion and, you know, like speed ramping to just add a bit more drama. And yeah, I want you guys to check out how this turned out. So you guys, that's it for today's behind the scenes. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process behind this shoot. If you have any questions about my setup or editing, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And yeah, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe if you really enjoyed this content. So I guess I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Yeah,